Welcome to my channel. Let me ask you a simple question. What if I told you that reading just 10 minutes a day could change your life? Yes, only 10 minutes. Not 1 hour. Not a full book. Just 10 quiet minutes every day. That's all. You can read before bed. You can read in the morning. You can even read during a lunch break. But those 10 minutes can help you in big ways. Reading can make your English better. It can help you learn new words. It can show you how real English is used. It can help your grammar, too, without even studying rules. Reading can also make your brain faster. It helps you think more clearly. You understand better. You remember more. And most of all, reading makes you feel more confident. When you read more, you understand more. When you understand more, you feel stronger. When you feel stronger, you are not afraid to speak. But here's the problem. Most people don't know this. They think reading is boring, or too hard, or slow. Some people even say, I don't need to read. I just want to speak. But the truth is, reading is one of the best ways to learn English. Today, I will show you why reading is a must, not only for learning English, but for growing as a person. It's not about reading big books. It's not about reading fast. It's about reading every day, with joy, with focus, and with purpose. So stay with me until the end. You will see something new. You may even feel something new, because this might be the most important video you watch this week. Chapter 1. Reading builds your English. Word by word, let's start with something simple. If you want to learn English, you need to use English. But how do you do that when you don't live in an English-speaking country? How do you do that if you don't have someone to talk to every day? One powerful answer is reading. Reading is one of the best ways to build your English, step by step, word by word. Think about how babies learn language. They don't study grammar books. They listen. They watch. They hear words again and again. And slowly, their brain understands the patterns. That's how they speak. Reading can help you the same way. When you read, you see the language. You see how words go together. You see how real sentences are made. And when you read every day, your brain starts to see good English. Let's take a small example. Imagine you read this sentence in a story. She looked out the window and smiled. The sun was shining. You just learned many things from this short line. You learned vocabulary like looked out and shining. You saw the past tense, looked, was. You saw how words are used in real context. No one explained grammar to you, but your brain noticed it. This is why reading is better than just memorizing grammar rules. Grammar rules are helpful, but they are just the map. Reading is the real world. It's how you feel the language, not just study it. Now, let's talk about vocabulary. When you read a lot, you see the same words again and again. And every time you see a word in a new sentence, you understand it better. Let's say you see the word quickly in a story. He ran quickly to catch the bus. Later, you read, she quickly finished her homework. And then, they quickly closed the door when it started to rain. Now you understand quickly more clearly. You didn't memorize it from a list. You saw it in action. You saw it being used in real life. That's how real vocabulary learning happens. Now, maybe you're thinking, but I'm a beginner. What should I read? Good question. If you're just starting, don't choose big novels or long newspapers. Start small. Start simple. Here are some great ideas. Short stories written for English learners. Children's books, they use simple, clear English. Easy English news websites, English comic books, or graphic novels English readers. Graded reading books made for learners. It's okay to read slowly. It's okay if you don't understand every word. The most important thing is, keep going. You can use a notebook to write down new words, or just try to guess the meaning from the sentence. You don't need to stop every time you see a new word. Sometimes, your brain understands the meaning without translation. This is a skill, and reading helps you grow that skill. Another good habit is to read a little every day. Don't wait for the weekend. Don't wait until you have one free hour. Just read for 5 minutes. Or 10. Do it while you drink tea. Or before bed. One small habit, done every day, is better than one big study session once a week. You can also read out loud sometimes. This helps your eyes, your brain, and your mouth work together. It helps your pronunciation too, but we'll talk more about that in Chapter 3. Let me tell you about one of my students. Her name is Anna. She's from Brazil. When she started learning English, she didn't like reading. She thought it was too slow, too boring. But one day, she found a short English story online. It was about a girl and her dog. It was funny. She read the whole thing, just 2 pages. And she smiled. She felt good. The next day, she read another story. And another. After 3 months, her vocabulary doubled. Her grammar was better. She started to speak with more confidence, because she had words in her mind. And all of this started with just reading one small story. Reading is like a free teacher. It never sleeps. It never gets tired. It teaches you new things every day, if you let it. So don't wait. Pick something easy. Start with 10 minutes a day. Don't worry about mistakes. Don't worry about speed. Just read, word by word, line by line. Because every time you read, your English gets stronger, and your confidence grows with it. Chapter 2. Reading makes you think in English. One big goal for many English learners is this: to stop translating every word in your head. Have you done this before? You hear a sentence in English. You think about the meaning in your language. Then, you think of a reply in your language. Then, you try to change it into English. By that time, the moment is gone. The conversation has moved on. This is very common. And it's okay in the beginning. But if you want to speak English easily and clearly, you need to stop translating. You need to start thinking in English. Now, that sounds hard. I know. But here's the good news. Reading can help you do that. When you read in English, you are not just learning words. You are training your brain to think in English. Let me explain how. When you read stories, news, or simple dialogues, your brain starts to see patterns. It starts to understand how sentences are made. You see how ideas connect. You start to understand the meaning without translating every word. Let's take a short example. Tom opened the door. He saw a dog sitting outside. It looked hungry. Now, maybe you don't know every word, but your brain understands the story. Tom opened door, saw dog, dog is hungry. You didn't stop to translate. You followed the meaning step by step. This is what happens when you read often. Your brain starts to think in English directly. At first, this may feel slow. You may still want to look at every word. That's okay. But over time, your brain will change. And yes, reading changes your brain. You might not feel it right away, but slowly, your brain starts doing amazing things. It learns to recognize sentence patterns, it remembers useful phrases, it understands word order naturally. It sees how questions and answers are built, it learns how English feels. This is very powerful. When you do this every day, even for 10 minutes, your brain is practicing. And not just practicing for reading. It's also preparing you for speaking and writing. Let's look at a dialogue from a beginner story. A. Hi, how are you? B. I'm good. And you? A. I'm fine, thanks. Where are you from? B. I'm from Egypt. What about you? A. I'm from India. Now imagine you read this kind of dialogue every day. Soon, you won't need to think about how are you or where are you from. You'll just say it. You'll just hear it. You'll think in English because your brain has seen the pattern many times. This is why reading is so useful. You are not just learning rules. You are building automatic thinking in English. Now, what kinds of reading help with this? Here are some of the best choices. Short stories. They are easy, fun, and full of everyday situations. Simple news articles. They use real English and talk about real things. Dialogues. They show how people talk. English learners' blogs or websites. Real thoughts. Written in easy English. Graded readers. Books made for English learners at different levels. The key is to find something you enjoy. Don't read things that are too hard. Don't read things that are too boring. Start with short, simple things. And here's a tip. Don't translate everything. Try to feel the meaning. Look at the full sentence. Ask yourself, what is happening here? Use your brain to guess. This builds the habit of thinking in English. Let me tell you a short story about a student named Omar. He was from Jordan. He always translated in his head. It made him slow and nervous. One day, I gave him a simple English story. It was about a boy and a kite, just 1 page long. At first, Omar read slowly. He checked every word. But after a few weeks, he started reading faster. He stopped translating. He just read. And one day, during class, he said something surprising. "Teacher, I had a dream last night, and it was in English." That made me smile. It showed that his brain was changing. He was starting to think in English, not just read it. And you can do this too. All you need is a little time each day. A short story, a small article, a simple dialogue. If you read English every day, even for 10 minutes, your brain will begin to change. You will start to think faster. You will begin to write and speak without so much fear. You won't need to stop and translate. You will feel the sentence. You will feel the meaning. Reading does this, quietly, gently, over time. It's not magic. It's practice. So from today, don't just read for vocabulary. Read to build your English brain. Read to think in English. Because when you can think in English, everything else becomes easier. Chapter 3. Reading helps you speak better. Without speaking now, let's talk about something that surprises many learners. Most people think reading is a quiet activity. You sit, you look at words, and you don't speak. But here's the big surprise. Reading can help you speak better, even if you don't talk to anyone. Yes, that's right. Even if you have no speaking partner. Even if you are shy. Even if you are learning alone at home. Reading can train your mouth, your brain, and your confidence. Let me explain how. First, let's talk about pronunciation. When you read out loud, your mouth gets practice with English sounds. You see the word on the page. You speak it. You begin to feel how English words move in your mouth. It may be slow at first. It may be strange. But the more you read out loud, the easier it becomes. Your tongue learns. Your lips learn. Your voice gets used to the rhythm of English. Many learners say, "I'm afraid to speak because I don't know how to say the words." But reading is a safe way to start. No one is watching. No one is correcting. You can go slow. You can repeat. You can try again and again. That's why reading is not just passive. It's active if you use it the right way. Now, let's talk about a simple technique called read and repeat. Here's how it works. Find a short text in English, a short story, a dialogue, or even subtitles from a video. Read one sentence out loud. Read it again. This time, try to say it with better flow. Repeat it 3 or 4 times. Focus on the sound, not just the words. Move to the next sentence. It's like going to the gym, but for your speaking muscles. The more you do it, the stronger your speaking becomes. Another great technique is called shadow reading. It's very powerful, and here's how it works. Play an English audio or video with subtitles. Listen to the speaker. At the same time, try to speak with them like an echo. Match their speed, their tone, and their pauses. Repeat small parts again and again. At first, this may feel difficult, but it's okay. You don't need to be perfect. Even if you follow 50%, your brain and mouth are learning. This is how actors train. This is how singers learn songs. And you can use the same method to train your spoken English. Now let's talk about fluency. What is fluency? Fluency means speaking without stopping. Not fast, just smooth. And fluency grows when your brain knows what to say and your mouth knows how to say it. Reading helps both. When you read stories, you learn common sentence patterns. You learn useful phrases like, "What do you mean? I'm not sure. Can I help you? I don't think so." These phrases become part of you. Later, when you speak, they come out naturally. That's how reading helps your fluency. It builds a library of language inside your mind. A library you can use when you speak. And let's not forget the most important thing, confidence. Many learners feel shy. They worry about mistakes. They feel nervous when speaking. Reading is a quiet way to build confidence. You can practice in your room. You can practice at your own speed. You can read something funny, something kind, something inspiring. You will feel good. You will feel capable. And that confidence will slowly show in your speaking. Let me tell you about a student named Min from Vietnam. Min never liked speaking in class. He was afraid of saying something wrong. So, I gave him a plan. Read out loud for 10 minutes every day. He started with short stories, then dialogues. Then, he used subtitles and practiced shadow reading. After 2 months, something changed. In class, Min started answering questions. He spoke clearly, not fast, but strong. He said, "I practiced speaking with books." That made me smile. Because Min learned the truth. You don't need a partner to become a better speaker. You need a system, a habit, a little time. And reading can be your speaking coach. So what should you do? Here's your action plan. Read out loud for 5 to 10 minutes a day. Use read and repeat. To practice sentences, try shadow reading with videos or audio. Use subtitles to help you follow along. Focus on your voice, your rhythm, and your confidence. And remember, you don't need to be perfect. You don't need to be fast. You just need to practice. Every time you read out loud, your English gets stronger. Every time you shadow a sentence, your speech gets smoother. Every time you repeat a phrase, your brain remembers it. So the next time you pick up a book, remember, you are not just reading. You are training your tongue. You are building your fluency. You are becoming a better speaker, word by word, line by line. Chapter 4. Reading trains your brain like a workout. Let's think about your brain for a moment. Your brain is like a muscle, just like your arms, your legs, or your heart. It needs exercise to stay strong. But here's the question. What kind of exercise is good for your brain? The answer might surprise you. Reading. Reading is like going to the gym, but for your mind. Every time you read, your brain gets stronger. And just like going to the gym, the more you do it, the better you feel. Let me explain how this works. When you read, your brain is doing many things at the same time. You are focusing your attention. You are remembering ideas. You are thinking about meaning. You are connecting new words to what you already know. All of this is a kind of mental exercise. And this exercise makes your brain faster, sharper, and healthier. Let's start with focus. In today's world, it's easy to lose focus. We get messages, notifications, videos, games, all fighting for our attention. But reading is different. Reading asks you to slow down. It asks you to sit quietly and pay attention to one thing: the words on the page. This is how you train your brain to stay focused. If you read for just 10 minutes every day, your brain starts learning how to stay with one task. And this helps you not just in English, but in school, work, and daily life. Now let's talk about memory. When you read, your brain stores new information. You remember characters, storylines, facts, and vocabulary. You remember how sentences are built. This improves your short-term memory and your long-term memory. And guess what? The more you read, the better your memory becomes. It's like lifting weights in the gym. Each page is a small lift for your mind. Here's a real-life example. I had a student named Maria. She told me she had a hard time remembering new English words. I asked her to try something simple. Read short English news every morning. After 2 weeks, she came back and said, "Teacher, I remembered 5 new words today without looking at my notes." Why? Because reading gave her brain a reason to use and store the words. It wasn't just memorizing, it was learning in context. Reading also helps with something very important: critical thinking. Critical thinking means asking questions like, why did this happen? What will happen next? What is the main idea? Do I agree or disagree? When you read stories, articles, or news, your brain learns to think deeper. You don't just accept the words, you start to understand the meaning behind them. And this skill helps you in everything: making decisions, solving problems, understanding other people, and learning new things faster. Reading is also known to reduce stress. Yes, reading can make you feel calm. When you read something interesting or peaceful, your heart slows down. Your mind relaxes. You forget your worries for a few minutes. This can help lower anxiety and improve your mood. In fact, some doctors say reading is like therapy for the brain. Even just 6 minutes of reading can lower your stress levels. Isn't that amazing? Now let's talk about something we all need: sleep. Many people check their phones before bed, but the bright screen and fast content make the brain too active. It becomes harder to sleep. But reading a paper book or a calm story before bed tells your brain, it's time to relax. It's time to sleep. So reading not only helps your brain learn, it helps your brain rest. And when your brain is rested, you learn better the next day. This is very helpful for English learners. If you sleep well, you remember more. You have more energy to practice. You feel better, and you stay motivated. So now you see, reading is not just about language. It is about building a better brain. You focus better. You remember more. You think deeper. You feel calmer. You sleep stronger. All from one simple habit: reading a little every day. So what can you do now? Start small. Read something interesting for 10 minutes a day. Try a short story, a blog, or even a children's book. Turn off your phone. Sit in a quiet space. Let your brain enjoy the workout. And remember, you don't need to finish a book in one day. You don't need to understand every word. You just need to keep going. Because every sentence you read is training your mind. Every paragraph is making you stronger. And every story is helping your brain grow, word by word, page by page. So read like it's exercise. Because it is. Chapter 5. Reading connects you to the world. Have you ever wanted to travel the world? To see how people live in different countries. To understand other cultures. To learn about history, science, or famous people. You may think, I can't travel now. I can't buy plane tickets. I'm still learning English. But here's something amazing. When you read, you travel with your mind. Reading is like a passport. It opens doors. It takes you to new places. It shows you the world, one page at a time. And the best part? You don't even need to leave your house. When you read in English, you don't just learn the language. You also learn about people, ideas, places, and cultures from around the globe. Let me give you an example. One day, I gave my students a short article in English. It was about life in Japan, about how students clean their own classrooms. The students in my class were surprised. They said, "We didn't know that." They learned something new, not from a video, not from a lecture, but from a short reading. Another time, we read about a girl in Kenya who built her own water filter to help her village. Again, my students were surprised and inspired. They said, "Wow, we can learn about heroes in other countries." This is what reading does. It connects you to the world. You can read stories from Africa, poems from India, news from Europe, and science from the US. All in English. And as you read, your world becomes bigger. You see how people live. You learn what they believe. You begin to understand their joys, their problems, their dreams. This makes you a better learner and a better person. You also start to see things differently. You begin to ask new questions. How do schools work in other countries? What food do people eat in different places? What are the biggest challenges in the world today? What are people doing to solve them? Reading helps you answer these questions. And when you understand more about the world, you also become more confident. You feel like a citizen of the world, not just a student learning English. Now, you may ask, where can I find simple English reading about the world? Great question. Here are some ideas, perfect for beginners. News and Levels, www.newsandlevels.com. This site gives world news in 3 levels of English. You can read about world events, science, famous people, and more in simple English. The Times in Plain English, www.thetimessinplainenglish.com. Helpful site with short articles about news, health, and education. Easy to read and good for practice. Breaking News English, www.breakingnewsenglish.com. This site gives news articles at different English levels. It also includes vocabulary, audio, and quizzes. Simple Wikipedia, simple.wikipedia.org, just like Wikipedia, but written in easier English. You can search for anything, countries, people, science, sports, and find simple explanations. Storyberries, www.storyberries.com. A great site with short stories for kids, but also fun and helpful for beginners. Stories come from many cultures and include pictures and simple language. These websites are free. You don't need a credit card. You just need curiosity and a little time every day. You can also find beginner English books that share stories from around the world. Try books like Oxford Bookworms, Level 1 or 2, Simple English Readers with Global Stories. Penguin Readers, short books with topics like travel, history, and real people graded readers. Stories and nonfiction written for learners at your level. You can find many of these online or in libraries. And remember, even reading a short article or story every day will help you grow. Let me tell you about one more student. Her name was Amina. She was from Morocco. She wanted to learn English, but she also wanted to learn about other cultures. She started reading short news in English. First, it was slow. She used a dictionary. But slowly, she read more, understood more, and even started writing about what she learned. One day she said to me, "Teacher, I feel like the world is bigger now, and I'm part of it." That's the power of reading. It makes you feel connected, not just to English, but to people everywhere. It also gives you something to talk about. When you read about the world, you have more ideas. You can share opinions. You can ask good questions. You become more interesting and more confident in conversations. Reading is not just for passing exams. It's not just for learning grammar. It's a way to see life through new eyes. So from today, don't just read to improve your English. Read to understand the world. Read to grow. Read to feel connected. Because every time you open a book, a blog, or a news article, you are not just learning English. You are opening a door to the world. Chapter 6. Reading changes your life. Forever, let's take a deep breath. Because now, we come to the heart of everything. Reading is not just for school. It's not just for tests. It's not even just for learning English. Reading is for your life. It's for your dreams, your growth, your future. You see, learning English is not only about grammar or vocabulary. It's about becoming a stronger version of yourself. And reading can help you get there, step by step. Reading builds something deep inside you. Confidence, focus, hope. It reminds you, I can learn, I can grow, I can change. Let me tell you a true story. There was a man named Luis. He lived in a small town in Mexico. He never finished high school. His English was very basic. But one day, someone gave him a simple book in English, a short story. He couldn't read it all. He had to stop many times. He looked up words. He read one page in 30 minutes. But something happened. He felt proud. I understood this part, he said. I didn't know I could do this. So he read again the next day. Just 10 minutes. Then the next day. Then the next. 3 years later, Luis became an English teacher. Yes, a teacher. And it all started with reading. It didn't happen in one day. It didn't happen with big words or big grammar books. It started with one small book, one page, one step. That's how change begins. Let me tell you about another learner, Fatima. She was from a village in Pakistan. Her family didn't allow her to study after 10th grade, but she wanted more. She wanted to see the world. She found an old English magazine in her uncle's house. She didn't understand most of it, but she was curious, so she started reading. Slowly. Later, she found a second-hand dictionary. She kept it with her always. She read poems, letters, stories, anything she could find. And do you know what happened? She taught herself English. She started writing. She wrote articles about girls and education and sent them to local newspapers. One day, one of her letters was published. She said, I felt like I had a voice. Reading gave me that voice. Now she works for a local education project, helping other girls read. Reading changed her life. And it can change yours too. Even if you are just starting. Even if your English is not perfect. Even if you don't have many resources. Reading is free. It's personal. And it is powerful. Reading gives you time to think. It lets you imagine a better future. It reminds you that learning is always possible. You don't need perfect grammar to grow. You don't need to be rich to read. You just need patience and a little courage. So what should you do? Start small. Read something every day. A paragraph. A short story. A blog. Even a few quotes. Read what you like. Read what makes you curious. It doesn't matter if it's slow. It doesn't matter if you stop and check your dictionary 20 times. What matters is you are reading. Every page you read is a step forward. Every word you understand is a victory. Because with every page, you become a little stronger, a little wiser, a little more confident. Reading won't change your life in 1 week, but in 1 year, in 2 years, in 5 years. It will take you to a place you never imagined. You'll speak better. You'll write better. You'll think better. You'll feel better. You'll be able to say, I didn't stop. I didn't give up. I kept reading. And now look at me. So wherever you are right now, whatever your level, remember this. Reading is one of the best steps you can take, not just for English, but for you. It's not about being perfect. It's about starting. Start with 1 page today, because that page could lead to a new chapter in your life. Call TO Action after Chapter 6. If this video helped you, give it a like. And if you're ready to start reading today, comment below. I'm starting now. I'll read your comment and reply to cheer you on, because you're not alone in this journey. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more real English lessons that help you grow, not just in language, but in life. Every week, we share simple, useful, and powerful content for English learners just like you. Remember, books don't just teach you words. They open your mind. They grow your confidence. And they show you who you can become, step by step. So don't wait. Pick 1 page today and begin.